Hey guys, Hugh Sheng here. Today I have a game for you guys on Pillars of Gold. And I'm playing against Skyler, who is about 5.6k Terran player. And he's quite the trickster. He's got some pretty wild strategies. So we're going to see one of those in today's game. So here I am harassing his SCV. Everything looks pretty normal at this point. And this is my first mistake this game. I'm actually going to make quite a few mistakes this game we're going to go over. But my first mistake here is expecting Skyler to take his natural in the normal position. So I pylon blocked him, thinking, okay, if he tries to take a CC, he'll just maybe put it here. But no, he doesn't even check that I put down a pylon. He just places his CC in the main. Absolute madman. And so here I am thinking, okay, he's proxied some sort of racks or something. My probe's looking around, checking for that. But of course he's just playing a fairly normal game, although it's not exactly normal from my perspective. So here we are going Stalker first. We're going to get a shield battery. I'm thinking it could be like proxy marauder here or proxy factory. So against those builds you need a fast shield battery. Actually, this is probably too late for that type of defense, to be honest. But you need a fast shield battery to defend those builds. So that's why I'm getting that. But back at home, he's going for a 2 racks build, which is not that common, actually. Like 2 racks factory. But I think it's quite strong. It seems fairly good. So yeah, I'm still thinking he's proxying. So I come up here with my probe. And finally, we see his command center. So now I know that he's actually playing normal. And I don't know what happened, but I'm still playing as if he's doing some sort of cheese. Like I should know the timing for this CC finishing, because this is a very normal CC timing. But I'm playing still. In a second you'll see as if he's cheesing. So usually what I do against cheese is like these fast proxies. Is I'll go for a quick 3 gates, get a fast observer, and just scout around for that. So if he did hide his CC better, then what I'm doing is pretty good. But since I saw it, I could have made some more adjustments to be greedy. Chronoing on an observer. I'm still looking for proxies. This is super bad for me. But let's see how the game goes. Now my plan here is to play Colossus again. Same as yesterday's video. Just been playing around with a little bit of Colossus. It's not my favorite playstyle, but it's kind of a good one to teach with because it's fairly simple and fairly easy to play. So this is going to be the first time I realize I'm being a total idiot. Probe comes up this ramp. We're going to see a ton of Marines. I don't think we saw the tank. I'm kind of worried a little bit about like Banshee or something, thinking he's proxying. So I thought maybe he did like a proxy Banshee or maybe even a proxy battlecruiser or something like that. Like I'm way off base here for sure. So I come in here and here I'm like, oh shit, I've been playing like a noob for the past 2 minutes. So now my Robo Bay is super late. So we're gonna get into Trouble Town. But this Robo Bay was supposed to be down at like 3:45, so I should be starting a Colossus pretty soon here. But instead, I'm waiting for this Robo Bay to build. So as he's pushing out, my Colossus should be on the way, which means for this push I should have a Colossus. But instead, we have like 6 Stalker. So I see him moving out. I'm regrouping since he can't really be dropping me if he has this type of army. And I can't obviously get this 3rd base because this is a crazy amount of units. I don't have a Colossus. So my plan is just to spam units here and see if I can get a Colossus out and then try to go for an engage. But it's not a great scenario for sure. So this is gonna, I mean, I can show you guys how to play from behind basically from this replay, but I shouldn't be in this position for sure. Okay, he comes in here, and basically I have to go here. If I don't go here, then we're going to lose for sure because he's going to get a siege, and as soon as he sieges, we're in we're basically screwed. So I have to go for it here before he gets that nice position, before he's actually ready to fight us. But it's not great. And I think my unit composition is not great as well. Ideally, I cut out a lot of these stalkers and do another zealot warp in. So I have like 6 zealot. So that was also a mistake. Because more zealots right at this position is going to force him to kite quite a bit. And then we can kill the tanks a little easier. And the Marines aren't going to do as much DPS. So, yeah, not that great here, but we can abuse a little micro trick in a second. Where we just kind of move our units on top of the tanks so they can't fire anymore. Little misclick from that one, but we cleaned it up. And this is a terrible position. So we're supposed to be super screwed in this game because normally you're supposed to be able to defend this base as well as, you know, get a Colossus going. So we don't have any of that. We basically have nothing. So it's going to be a very, very difficult game. But we do take the third, and obviously we're going to try from this position. So I'm getting a Colossus. I'm going to get range in a second. And I'm trying to figure out what his next play is. So this is a big mistake I'm seeing a lot of students making. Up probably around like the master's level. So at the master's level, you don't really need to worry about this too much before that. But at the master's level, you want to be figuring out if they're going for some sort of 2-base sell-in like this. So this is 2 more racks on top of the 311 instead of a CC. So we can see that he has no CC. He could have one back there, but based on this timing, he doesn't really have anything else other than these racks. So I know he's going for an all-in. So this is very important. I also see that he's rallying his tanks out here. So I'm going to pull back and try to see what he's doing. These tanks make me think he's not going for some sort of drop play. So I think I can't remember the name, but someone in the chat was asking if you can ever go charge first before blink against tank play, and you definitely can, especially if they're playing like this guy, where they're doing like some sort of all-in, and you don't really need to defend drop play. Then charge can be good for sure. But if they're macroing, then I would probably still play blink. Okay, so I have my first Colossus, and this army is just super bad if I let him come into a position here. So what I need to do is stay out on the map. It's going to feel super scary, but my army is actually much better than his as long as he's not sieged, even though my army is very, very tiny. So I'm going to try to get out here and try to take good fights in good positions where I can cut off parts of his army. So based off where he's moving right now, we can see that he's kind of next to this cliff. So if I hit some force fields like maybe here and here, then I can just shave off a couple of units before he has time to siege, and then just back up. And he can't really chase me because we can again maybe abuse some more force fields. Like let's say we get these 2 and he tries to go around and keep coming, we can just force field 2 more times, shave off some more units, and then back up before the force fields wear out. So you do need good force fields, but it's important to try to get some good pickoffs here. Maybe not the best execution, but we did slow him down, make him siege. We're starting to get a decent Colossus count. Probably, if I didn't get my Robobay late, I could have like 4 Colossus right now. At least 3 for sure. Again, trying to pick off some stuff, whatever I can. Force him to siege. He does. I mean, anything we can get is nice. He's got all these SCVs. So I don't need to hold his base anymore. Actually, let's go look at his base. So he has no SCVs. He's bringing them all. He's bringing all the boys. Maybe even the girls in this army. I don't know. There's a lot. And so all we need to do is kill this army eventually before he gets, a nice siege position somewhere here. If we can take that fight, actually not even there, like here. If he can kill our natural, then we might be in a lot of trouble. But if we can just slowly whittle away this army, even if we lose this third, then we should be in a great spot. So again, the name of the game is pick off some units before he can siege, and then pull back before he hits you. So here I'm playing it super terribly. I actually thought he had sieged them already like this, and he was pulling back to bait me into like 3 tank shots, but he didn't even have them set up. So I could have got a lot of pickoffs there, but from my perspective, I thought he was baiting me. So what I should have done is had this observer a little closer for these siege moments, and then see that he's you know, unsieged, and I can actually trade there again. So here I saw the tanks, and so I know that his army is too far from the tanks for me to get hit, so I'm again picking off some units here. But I'm trying to be careful that he doesn't jump on top of my army, because if he picks off these Colossus, I'm super dead. So again, this micro is not perfect by any means, but that's the idea. And again, we are going for charge. A little bit too close for me here. Again, this obs is out of position, so I need that over here to see where he's at. We're getting to the moment you probably saw at the beginning of the video. Now here's a huge blunder by me. This is actually a great engagement, but I just mess it up super badly in the moment. So my force fields are perfect, right? What I've done is segmented the SCV and the tanks, and all his bio is at the back, and he can't get around. So what I should have done here is just killed all these tanks for free. I used my zealots, so there's no real way for me to retreat from this position, but I guess what I was thinking is there were some Marines sneaking by, and I thought there was more Marines in front, so I was worried that I was going to get jumped on, but definitely I should have picked off these tanks or just not gone for the fight yet. So this was a really, really huge mistake for me. And I am stuck on 3 gates, which is not the best, but maybe it's possible to get 3 more gates and make some more sentries with my money, but then I have less zealots for these fights, so it's a hard call to make. Instead, I go for a DT shrine. And he's sitting up this nice position, inching forward. He's trying to get to here. If he can get to here, then he's going to segment me a little bit, and he can maybe push into one of these bases and force a fight. So that's his end goal. But he's trying to get closer to that. He doesn't want to move too fast, because if he unsieges all the tanks and moves forward, then I can jump on him, and he won't have anything sieged for the majority of the battle. So he's trying to avoid that, and I'm trying to buy as much time as possible. And here I decide to go for it. So this is probably the worst mistake in the game. There's really no reason for me to go for this yet. Like, he hasn't really secured the nice position he wants. And so what I could have done is just had these armies start to split up and force him more into this position. And that way I can, you know, get more units into the fight. Maybe use my shield battery during the fight as well, but just basically buy time, because again, he's really not mining anything. And so there's no reason to go for this. So this is just a huge blunder. And honestly, it looks like I'm super screwed. So I thought I was dead in this game. But Colossus are pretty good when you're kiting. He's kind of bunching up as I go. So this was a lot better than I expected at the beginning of the battle. And we do get some more SCVs on the retreat as well. So he's kind of pretty low on units beside the tanks. So if I can just take out these tanks somehow, then we can maybe win this game. But it's going to be tricky for sure. It would have been a lot easier if I didn't make that stupid play. Again, here kind of sacrificing some zealots. Probably should have had those on a different control group so that they didn't run forward when I was using my Colossus. But went behind Dark Shrine. So he's kind of zoned us out now, and this would have been a good time for me to go if we hadn't fought earlier. But now that he's zoned me out, I kind of need to leave these units over here on hold position. It's really important you put these guys on hold, actually, because if you don't put them on hold and he just like pokes you, they might run into the tanks when you're preoccupied and microing over here. So you got to be very, very careful. So now we have to fight only on this side until we want to go for it later. Maybe I could recall, I guess, but I actually think it's better to have them over here. Now he does a nice play here, dropping on my Colossus, takes it out pretty easily. But this base doesn't actually matter to us, so if this dies, it's not a huge deal. And finally I get a DT out, and we can pick off some of these tanks. I'm not sure if he has a scan in this game. Yeah, he doesn't have a scan, which was super nice for me. I was able to pick off a couple of these tanks. Otherwise, we're definitely screwed because I only have Colossus. So this was a big play for sure. 2 tank pickoffs. I think here he gets a scan. But I mean, 2 tanks for 1 DT is awesome. And as he moves up, I'm able to pick off another tank here. So we're starting to whittle him down. But it's really, really tight. I'm spamming some shield batteries, pulling probes. Again, if we just hold this, we win. So these probes are not actually that important. We know he's incredibly all in right now. Another DT, the best value for our what we have right now. And I mean, he's pretty low on energy, he's pretty low on units. So it's a very difficult position for him, but he tries to boost past the DT, which is pretty smart. Go for the shield battery. But it's not quite enough. And we end up just barely winning this game. So, a couple of mistakes in this game, actually plenty of mistakes in this game. But hopefully you guys learn from them and become some better Protoss players. If you like this video, give it a like. We've got to get more likes on these videos, guys. Comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.